It's not about big contracts or endorsements. It's not about signing bonuses or incentives. It's about a pure love of the sport. It's about high school football, and today, it's about the championship. For St. Francis, Steve Demning is hoping to pass his Gladiators into history. But Unionville's stingy defense would love nothing more than to shut him down. The Class C title game is next. It is all about school pride as well, and nowhere do you find more pride than maybe at the high school level. The Pontiac Silverdome, the pinnacle of every high school football player's career to try and wear a championship ring. The Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators and Unionville Sebewaing Patriots have earned that right to fight, scratch, and claw for the Class C title game. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to the Pontiac Silverdome. Glad you're with us on Fox Sports Detroit for the Class C title matchup. My name is Matt Shepard, along with my partner, Rob Rubick, the former Lions great tight end, the former standout tight end at Grand Valley State. Teams take different paths to get here. St. Francis have taken a path on the right arm of a kid who probably wasn't supposed to start this season on the varsity level.
Sophomore quarterback Steve Demning is thrown in the mix much as another young quarterback we've seen at the Pontiac Silverdome, Charlie Batch, this season for the Lions.
Yeah.
Only a sophomore, wasn't expected to start, expected to be on a junior varsity club this year, but has shown because of some unforeseen circumstances that he could step up to the plate, and he's shown poise and determination this entire season, leading the Gladiators all the way to the Pontiac Silverdome.
Larry Sellers very surprised at the poise and the leadership capabilities that this kid has as a sophomore. Meanwhile, USA has chosen a different route. They've decided to go with defense. They've only given up 55 points all season long. Let's get it done.
Unbelievable. You're talking about a tenacious, swarming defense. We're going to call the Stellar D, limiting to 55 points in the course of the season. They're led by the Killer Jays, the three linebackers, Justin Martin, along with Joe Heinz, and Nitz also, Joe Nitz. So the three young men have been leading the defense the entire season.
Yeah, they're going to be on that sidelines, roaming from sideline to sideline, just like our third member of our broadcast crew, Jamie Samuelson. Jamie?
All right, Matt, I'm here with the coach, Joe D'Angelo, who coached in 3 of these games. And, Coach, biggest game of the year for St. Francis, undoubtedly, but maybe the second biggest game, a game they lost earlier this season.
Jamie, sometimes teams learn more from a loss than they do a win. And in this case, St. Francis realized that they had to become a more tougher, aggressive football team after that loss to Muskegon Catholic Central. They are that kind of team right now.
Sebewaing, they come from the thumb, so you can probably predict what kind of offense they're going to run, and it's a tough one to stop.
Wing T offense, that's what you see in the thumb area, and this is what Sebewaing's going to run, their version of it. And if you have a hard time finding the ball, don't feel alone. A lot of teams do.
We'll be looking for it in the first half. Matt, back up to you.
Jamie, thanks. We look forward to yours and the coach's insight throughout our broadcast this evening. St. Francis guns for their first state title since 1992. USA looks for number 1. We got your kickoff and the starting lineups when we come back. High school football on Fox Sports Detroit is brought to you by the Detroit Free Press. For top coverage of preps and professional sports, turn to the pages of one of the nation's top sports sections. And by Farm Bureau Insurance, proud sponsor of the MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award. Welcome back to the Pontiac Silverdome. Matt Shepard along with Rob Rubick. We look forward to bringing you this Class C championship ball game between Unionville Sebewaing, we'll term them as USA throughout the broadcast, and St. Francis of Traverse City. Rob, smaller schools, we got the thumb against the pinky, if you will. You're very familiar with both of them.
Well, I live in Lapeer, Matt, and that's the base of the thumb, and the thumb is very proud. I was reading in the Bay City Times that most of the people in the entire thumb area headed down M24 to be here today to support this thumb area team. Traverse City St. Francis also has a huge following as we look across the field, and that's a long 4-hour trip all the way down from Traverse City. But they've been here before. You have the experienced Traverse City team up against the newcomers from USA.
Yeah, we'll see if it's worth the trip. They have already enjoyed their stay. They have seen a couple of state champions already get crowned here on Fox Sports Detroit. Fowler in Class D, Harrison in Class A, and now it is Class C time to see who picks up the win here. Unionville won the toss, deferred. St. Francis will receive this afternoon's opening kickoff. St. Francis comes in 11 up and 1 down. USA, a perfect 12-0 record, the best that school has ever boasted in its history. Tim Travis above, almost well above the 500 level as a head coach. Brian Beckwith back deep to receive the opening kickoff. On a squib at the 10. Big popping going on down there.
Some nice coverage on the opening kickoff by the Patriots. They're coming down with a lot of speed, a lot of tenacity. As I was saying earlier, I think we almost want to call this team the Wolverines today, because everything we've heard about them is that they're a sideline to sideline, from whistle to whistle type of defense.
16-yard return for Beckwith. There's Demney. Rob talked about him in the open. Very poised for just a sophomore. He's thrown for over 450 yards, but more importantly, completes 66% of his passes. His father played at St. Francis. He's looking to do something his father could never do, and that's pick up a championship ring. Little start on the ground. And a pickup of 2. We'll show you that Traverse City St. Francis offensive line that averages 220 pounds. Led by the right tackle, Ben Beckwith, who broke his leg last year and has rebounded very, very well. He's number 62. He'll be paving the way. Devin Quinn, number 21, who had that carry, an all-stater. 2nd down and 8. Demney wants to throw. He's got a man open. Just off the fingertips. Ben Carlson had his man beat, but couldn't bring it in.
They come out and run a little play-action pass, and the key to this, what makes it go, is that the offensive line really aggressively comes off the ball. As you can watch the offensive linemen, they show block like they're running a running play, but Demney goes back on the play action, delivers the ball just out of the reach of Carlson. Coach Sellers coming out trying to set the tempo a little bit, going into the air early.
Yeah, mixing it up a little bit. Starts on the ground, then goes through the air, trying to keep the Patriots defense off balance. 3rd and long for St. Francis. They will work out of a split backfield. Good coverage downfield. It'll be loud in here. It'll get warm too. USA, a lot of support along with Traverse City. Chuck Arnold dropping Demney after a pickup of 4. It'll be 4th and 8. Traverse City offense averaging better than 36 points a game. They're not used to punting the ball away. Brian Beckwith will, though. And when he does, he's good. He averages 44 yards a kick. Kind of a line drive. Taken by, actually, Kevin Vermash. We'll watch it roll down toward the 20-yard line. A kind roll for St. Francis. Great punt. More importantly, no return by Vermash, a kid you like an awful lot. The kid can get the job done on the ground.
Kevin Vermash is pretty much a complete player for USA. He the starting running back, the starting safety. He returns punts, return kicks, punts and kicks. He does nothing but sell popcorn at halftime. We come out here, we got the quarterback, Josh Hahn. Josh also, as Demney, is a good leader. He's tough and gritty, looks to run the ball, but he also will put it up if he has to.
Looking at a 1st and 10, ball resting on the 17-yard line. All kinds of movement. Rob talked about that in the open too. The kind of offense this team runs, and St. Francis will have to get used to it. Troy Vermash, the brother of Kevin, taking the handoff there. The offensive line, small, but a pleasant surprise because they have performed so very well. The average is 207. Hard Hair is the strongest and quickest he has been in the last 2 years. John Kemp on that left tackle position. 1st year of football since a freshman. He's been working a family business for the past few years. And then Kevin Vermash, the kid who set a school record with over 1,600 yards on the ground in a season. Into the first man through Troy Vermash. Close to a 1st down. Troy Vermash had over 1,100 yards. I mean, the Vermash brothers on the ground combined for better than 2,700 yards. A pickup of 5, and the first down is drawn by USA.
And the way they got the first down is exactly what we knew we'd see from Coach Travis and the Patriots. They came out and started pounding the ball. They come on their full house tee, and they're just going to pound the ball at you, and then try to get you on a little first and second down play action.
Quick handoff. There's Kevin Vermash. That time St. Francis was able to jump all over him. A defensive line that averages 212 pounds. Paced by Dave Classens at the defensive tackle position. Devin Quinn anchors in the middle as a linebacker. And Tim Wolf, 18 tackles in the semifinals win over Muskegon Catholic. He was huge. Second down and 7, ball resting on the 31-yard line. Just underway here in the Class C championship ball game. And off to Kevin Vermash. And again, they're popping down there, Rob Rulick.
Nothing fancy, they're just coming out. Everyone's doing straight ahead zone blocking. They're firing off the ball. And all 3 of the running backs in the full house tee come fire off straight ahead. There's look at Devin Quinn, the intense hitter. And Devin, we got to make sure we keep his name. I've been told by a lot of people from Traverse City, it's not Devon. I played a young man named Devon Mitchell in this very dome. So if I screwed up today, I have to apologize to his parents before I even do it.
Not so far. Devin Quinn will move sideline to sideline. Great lateral movement on this kid. Option right side. Vermash cutting across that grain, looking and sniffing out that first down yard marker. Again, Quinn in on a tackle there, but not before the Patriots pick up their second straight first down.
Here it is. This time they fake to the first man. They're going to run a little option, something that Traverse City hasn't seen. The pitch back to Vermash, but it was pretty well defended. It does pick up the first down, but it's not a big play that can hurt Traverse City. But on the other end, it keeps USA's drive going.
Just a junior, and Vermash will have a chance to break his own school record next season. Quick handoff to the first man through, Troy Vermash. And again, they're getting some pretty good yardage on that first crack at it, aren't they, Rob?
This is my first look at a full house tee in quite a few years. I'm used to the wing tee. The wing tee is much more deceptive, a lot of counter, misdirection, crossing action in the backfield. This is pretty much all 3 backs head straight ahead. It's just the quarterback's going to hand it to one of them. The line just fires off straight, as you stated, Matt, and they just try to get a little bit of movement. The back tries to find the crease. And
each time they run successfully on first down, pick up those 4 or 5 yards, that means that Josh Hahn doesn't really have to throw the ball. He doesn't throw the ball very often.
Coach Shepard's exactly right.
He's got it. Quarterback has it near side. Dave Classens on the tackle. This is what you're talking about. A lot of deception involved here.
Well, this is the first time we've seen any of the counter action take place with some play fakes in the backfield of the backs crossing. What broke the play down, though, was Classens was disciplined, number 72, and he stays home. There's a fake dive, and he rolls out. Classens not supposed to be there. He's supposed to suck in on the fake dive, but he was well coached by Coach Larry Sellers, and he stayed home, and the play broke down.
Got to stay in your lanes and be, as you said, very disciplined on that defensive line when you're facing this type of offense.
If you start chasing backs, instead of staying home and doing your position, doing your assignment, you're going to be chasing ghosts. You're going to be coming through without the ball. You're going to be tackling people who don't have the football, and you're going to be out of position. And the man who does have the football is going to be 40 yards down the field.
Now a big 3rd and 6 play for the Patriots at their own 41-yard line. Give it to the workhorse, Kevin Vermash, but he's stuffed out by St. Francis, and that'll bring up a 4th and long.
This is something new that we haven't seen so far today. A little bit of a toss out of the full house tee. And let's take a look at the guard, the right guard, number 62. He'll pull on the play. And also the left guard, they try to get some people out in front. But what breaks the play down, once again, is discipline by the defense of St. Francis. Number 61, Adriano Boza, stayed home and did a great job enforcing the punt.
Vermash will stay into punt. Big booming kick. Fair catch by Beckwith at the 24-yard line. Each offense has had a crack at it. Patriots had a couple of first downs. Now St. Francis tries to make some adjustments. We're scoreless at 5.5 of the first. Tune in every night for Fox Sports News Primetime. All the scores, all the highlights, and all the breaking stories. Covering your home teams 7 nights a week. We are there. Fox Sports News Primetime tonight after the games on Fox Sports Detroit. Pontiac Silverdome, year in and year out, gets packed to the gills with folks coming from all over the state to cheer on their favorite high school football team. St. Francis and Unionville Sebewaing are here in droves to see if their clubs can pick up a crown. We are scoreless, 5.5 through the first quarter of play. St. Francis with their second offensive possession. Little counter for Steve Demney. Not going anywhere. USA sniffed that out immediately.
We're going to watch here on the replay, Matt. It's going to take you to place a little cross action. The left guard for Traverse City, I think that's Joe Rotolo, number 65. He's going to pull, and the center's going to block back. Right here, let's watch the left guard, or I'm sorry, he's going to come right through here. Don't look at the first back, watch the second back, because the guard's going to take you to the football. And what they're trying to do in that type of offense is if the linebackers start looking into the backfield instead of reading the guards first, they're going to get lost.
No loss of a yard there, but still second down and 10 and a long way to go. Quinn, left side. Following that left side of the offense, Hines and Rotolo, an offensive line pushing well over 200 and get the job done all year long. Devin Quinn, the all-stater, the fullback. Guy who missed most of his junior year with a bad back and has come back with a vengeance. And has been the workhorse for St. Francis. Third down and 7. Option far side. Beckwith's got the first down. Boy, nice job by Demney. Really held on to it to the last minute. Faked it to his up man and pulled it inside. Gave it to his speedy Beckwith on the outside to pick up 11.
And what really helps make the play is a heads-up, intelligent play by the receiver, Ben Carlson, number 7. Here you see the play fake, but Carlson is a split and stock blocking, but what the best block is when he doesn't make, because if he makes that block, it's going to be in the back, it's going to be called back. He doesn't make the block, and they're still able to turn it up inside for a big game.
Yeah, realized his guy was over-pursuing on the play, so he backed off. First and 10, first time St. Francis has moved the chains. There's another big run. Ben Carlson close to another first down.
Traverse City coming out early and really starting to pound the ball at USA, establishing the running game. Coach Sellers, he's an old-time coach, 25 years. This is nothing but giving it to the second back through a good head, some good blocking inside by Adriano Voza, number 61. That opens up the hole, and they're going to test USA. We've talked about how tenacious and how they run sideline to sideline, Matt. Well, let's see how they take it when you pound it right up the middle on them, and you take advantage of the size that you have over them.
Carlson's used to those big runs. He's had over 1,100 yards this season. Fumble. Patriots are all over. First turnover of the ball game, and momentum is shifting. Kyle Mowry hopped on that loose ball on the carpet, and we'll see what the Patriots can do with it now on offense.
A big play for USA coming up on a short yardage play, and they came up and were able to knock the ball loose.
Scoreless late in the first, but USA gets the first big turnover of the ball game.
And we talked about the killer Jays in pregame. Justin Martin's number 50 and Joe Steckel, number 56. Both linebackers, they see the hole, they step up in it, and they really put a nice lick on Devin Quinn, popping the ball loose, and Mowry, Johnny on the spot, and that's the first big play of the game, a turnover in favor of the Patriots.
Inside St. Francis territory, and out of the I formation now. Pitch back to Kevin Vermash. Mashed some heads there and picked up about 4 or 5. Let me ask you something, Rob. Looks like a different football they're using out there. Is it?
Yeah, it is a different football. It's a rubber football that Traverse City uses and a leather football that USA uses. We're going to look at the replay here. What breaks us down is number 21, Devin Quinn, gets excellent penetration and allowing Carlson to come up and make the play. Get another angle at it. Number 7, Carlson, able to hang on to Vermash. I think we're going to see that a lot today. The first tackler will not take Vermash down all the time. He's a workhorse, and he runs like a thoroughbred, too.
Second down play. They'll go to the air. First throw of the ball game for the Patriots, and it's incomplete.
Well, trying to soften up this St. Francis defense a little bit. They're struggling running the ball right now, trying to go sideline to sideline, so they come out on second down with the play action. Talking to Coach Travis before the game, his whole philosophy is if he's going to throw the ball, he's going to throw on first and second down, not third down. I said, are you comfortable throwing the ball, Coach? He said, not really. We prefer not to, and if we do, it's going to be early in the series.
Joe Rotola had pretty good penetration there, actually got a piece of Josh Hahn's throwing motion, and maybe that's why it went so far wide. Now he's in a passing situation at 3rd and long.
This is what he didn't want to get into. When you're a running team of full house T, you don't want to have to set up in a formation you're not comfortable with, and we see him coming in a pro set out of the eye.
Inside handoff. Troy Vermash. Well shy of the first down.
I like his philosophy here. A lot of coaches don't do this. It's 3rd down and 8, but he's in 4-down territory. He realizes he has 2 downs to pick up. He doesn't have to throw. And once again, let's watch the right guard's going to pull. Number 62, Curtis Vargo, pulls, and that's where the ball comes, right behind Vargo. And I like his philosophy. As I stated earlier, Matt, he doesn't have to throw on 3rd and 8. When you're running full house T team, he knows he has 2 plays to pick it up. He picks up 4, now he's got 4th and 4.
Jason Newman on the tackle there, so as Rob said, a 4th and 4 situation. As the time winds down toward the end of the first quarter. A buck and a half left to go. Kevin Vermash, big hole. Closed quickly by St. Francis, but I believe he got enough for the first down.
We're going to see why this play is successful. There's no doubt. You watch the 3 men, Stecco, Hare, and Vargo, from guard to guard. Watch the push they get up front. They're just absolutely pushing the front of St. Francis, and also nice job by the tight end, Chuck Arnold. And that's when you get that push and you start winning and you start moving that defensive line back inches by inches to feet, you're going to win the ball game. And right now, USA has this St. Francis defense on their heels a little bit.
Yeah, you know you're in trouble when St. Francis is relying on their safety, Tim Wolf, to come up and make the stop. Vermash only 5 yards deep. Big penetration. Nice play by Josh Hines.
Oh, that's what it's all about.
His guy.
That's what it's all about. Number 63 in the dome, Matt. He's here, he's fired up, and he makes a big-time play, beating his man one-on-one here. Hines, we see him, he's gonna, he actually kind of cuts underneath and gets into the backfield to stop. And I'm not sure if that was a slanting type of front defense that we saw that time or not. I missed it. But if they're starting to slant a little bit, you do that sometimes to counter if you're starting to get pushed off the ball.
You like that helmet? Look at all the blue and the scraps.
Spielman to be proud of that one there.
Absolutely. All he needs is a tad of blood, and he'll have that by the end of the game, I'm sure. Quick slant in route, and Carlson was there to knock it away. Good job by the D-back.
It's a good job by the D-back, but I think calling that a quick slant, you're being very generous. If we're going to get a wide look at this, he kind of looks like he has a little bit of a rotor tiller here. Number 87, Justin Nitz. He runs a slant, but he takes off from the line, and maybe the way the play is designed, he came off just kind of chopping his feet a little bit, and then he went. But the ball was actually catchable.
As a former guy who catches passes, you like that a little bit closer to home, because when you're laid out like that, you got a chance to get popped.
I'll tell you, if he hangs you out to dry, the quarterback's not going to be on your Christmas list very long.
He will be if Josh Hahn can pick up the win here today. All kinds of movement. Nathan Golke, big play, big hole left side, give him 13 and move those yard markers.
Well, shame on the linebacking core of St. Francis here, because here you see the big fellas, the guards pulling, also the tackle, Kine and Vargo. It's a counter tray with the wing running the ball. We see this a lot. Here it is. Look at the guards coming, 67. 62 actually blocked back, but a nice kick-out block on Jason Newman, number 72, by Vargo.
Patriots are moving the ball well. Scott Demney will keep it. They tried the same thing, but Demney kept it that time.
That's exactly right, Matt. They run the same play, the same action, except this time they're going to pull the left guard, and they fake the ball on the wing counter.
Here's the thing, it's very difficult to prep for a team like this because not many run it. Right now, USA is running it to perfection. When we come back, they'll get another shot at it. Ball resting on the 15. We're scoreless, but that could change quickly on Fox Sports Detroit. Travis as we start the second quarter of play in this Class C championship game. USA driving on St. Francis. Tim Travis, the head coach of Unionville Sebewaing, a guy who has got 15 guys on the team who are seniors, has 5 straight winning seasons, and what a thrill it is for his club to be at this point. They have never been at this point. As a matter of fact, they've never been past the first round until this year. Licking their chops at a 2nd down and 6 at the 15-yard line. St. Francis got 8 guys in a box. They're daring him to throw the football.
And we're seeing the philosophy of the full house tee coming plainly into view in this entire drive. Although I'm going to have to cut my thought short because we're going a little bit of a hurry-up offense here. I'm going to send it back, Matt.
3rd and short. Second man through is Kevin Vermash, and he's close to another first down. There's the first quarter stats. You see pretty even on the ground. Nobody's gained any ground through the air, and USA has really been able to control the football so far. Good enough for the first down, and now it'll be 1st and goal from the 9. Out of the eye. Vermash crossed the grain, close to the 5, dropped by Quinn.
Once again, they're just doing the power football, faking it to the first back, the second back following. A nice cutback by Vermash, seeing that the initial hole was clogged, and that just comes from experience and being the man that's going to carry the ball time after time through the course of a season. And we have to remember that Kevin Vermash is only a junior.
Great baseball and basketball player. As a matter of fact, Coach Travis says his best sport is baseball. Fake to him. Demney keeps it left side. Inside that 5-yard line, Jason Newman dropped him there.
Well, this is going to be a crucial play, a 3rd down and 4, and I'm not sure how good the kicking game of USA is. The block down, a good job. This time they fake it to the second back, Vermash, and Hahn keeping the ball, but Hahn is slightly undersized, only 165 pounds, so he's going to have a hard time pounding it in.
Josh Hahn is a guy who, Tim Travis, he loves his guts, loves the way he controls himself. That time he threw it back across the grain where no one was. That's a dangerous pass. If you want to get rid of it, that's a dangerous place to go with it.
Well, what Hahn wanted to do, he's trying to hit the back, leaking out of the backfield, number 40. He stumbles, as you can see. Now he decides to do the throwback. He knows he has a secondary receiver to the backside, the tight end, Justin Nitz. The play broke down. That could be a turf monster. You just call that a turf monster when you're running and you're not used to playing on this surface. Sometimes it can grab right a hold and pull you down.
Problem with something like that, though, is you got a defender backside who's staying home and picks that pass off. He could, walk backwards to the end zone. They will not go for a short field goal on 4th and goal. They'll go for it. Kevin Vermash. Wide side, can't get that corner, though. Beckwith came up and gave him a pop at the 2.
Well, what happens this time, you're coming all the way down the field, you run an off tackle, a little bit of option, you got 4th down and 4, and you're going to try a toss sweep with your number 1 running back, Vermash. But the play breaks down because the great lateral movement side to side of Beckwith, number 32. He will not be blocked. He strings it out and knocks Vermash out of bounds.
Boy, does a nice job getting to the runner. Vermash just trying to turn that corner. If he turns that corner, he gets a chance to lunge with the football over the goal line, and you could be looking at 6. Instead, St. Francis will take over their 3rd possession. Last time they had it, they fumbled. Big hole! Well, that got him out of some danger, didn't it? Carlson, biggest gainer of the afternoon for him. Troy Vermash in on a stop.
And the biggest part about this play, as a coach right now, as we see Carlson coming through the open hole, but as a coach, Matt, now it kind of changes your whole concept in this drive. When you're on your 2-yard line, you're just trying to survive. You're trying to get 4 or 5 yards and then maybe have to be forced to punt. You want field position. Now you have the first down. Now you can start to open things up a little bit more.
And maybe they throw the football a little bit from here. A lot of popping going on there, and the Patriots do a darn good job of gang tackling. Demney kept it that time. Beckwith limping a little bit back to the huddle. Talked about the difference in footballs, Rob. This one doesn't look like your traditional. It's really more like a leather, right?
Well, this is this one here's a North Country football. It's the rubber football that Traverse City St. Francis is using. Because of the climate up north, you go through so many footballs, it's not economically sound for a program to use leather because you keep wasting them. Here, you know it's going to be good in any condition.
Easier to throw for a quarterback as well. It has higher laces. Devin Quinn muscling his way toward another first down.
Now, that sounds like it's coming from a former quarterback almost. I don't know. He has higher laces. I never knew what the laces were like. They just, I just tried to look at them. They always say, look at the laces coming in, but I could never really see them, especially once you start playing at this level, you're usually getting hit in the back when the ball's coming. Nice shot of Coach Sellers on the sideline.
Occasionally, you will hear Larry Sellers very clearly as you hear us. He is mic'd down on the sidelines for us. Looking at his offense, staring at a 3rd and 4. Nice job by the USA defense. Didn't buy on the fake. Curtis Vargo in on a tackle, and that'll bring up a 4th and 5, a loss of 2.
USA is really coming off the ball now and firing off low. I think early in the game they were standing up a little bit, and that's why Traverse City is having a little more success. Now they're coming off flat back. They're coming off low, trying to create piles and let their linebackers clean it up.
Kevin Vermash will stand right around midfield to receive this punt. Low punt, or low snap. Good job by to get away to Vermash inside St. Francis territory. Beckwith did a nice job to handle it. Didn't get off his best punt, but he gets it and gives his team a little breathing room. When we come back, the Patriots take aim again. They came up short last time. They'll try and change things now. We figured it would be a defensive battle, and that's exactly what we got. 7.5 left to go in the first half, and we're scoreless in the Class C championship game. On the next edition of Red Wings Weekly, hear about the new book by a local author titled A Wing and a Prayer, and get an update on the injury rehab of center Brent Gilchrist. That, highlights, and more on Red Wings Weekly, hosted by John Keating, tomorrow at a special time, 4:30 on Fox Sports Detroit. USA cheering section, some of them on their feet as they hope their Patriots can take it in this trip down. Last time they were snuffed out at the 2. They take aim again. Scoreless, 7.5 left to go in the first half. Counter play. Vermash outside and tripped up. Good job by Ben Carlson, but Troy Vermash with a big gainer.
This time Traverse City got sucked in by the backfield. We watched the back, Kevin Vermash, take off the right along with the quarterback, but the running back Troy Vermash comes underneath on a little inside trap. The fullback trap is the bread and butter. We'll get another look at it here. Let's watch the right guard, number 62 for Sebewaing pulls, and that's that's Curtis Vargo, did a nice job. Troy Vermash was about a step away from breaking that going the distance.
Yeah, he had one more to go. Carlson with plenty of speed to make it up. They're about a half a yard short, but no problem there for the Patriots. Obviously just a second down play. And this is a play that, an offense loves to have. I mean, you can open it up if you want. I know they don't throw the football a whole lot, but you can do a whole bunch of different stuff here and get away with it.
When I looked at the stats, both teams run the ball about 90% of the time and throw it about 10% of the time. So I'm not sure. They may put it up here, but they know that you're pounding the ball at them. Sometimes coaches can overcoach themselves. Let's say you go to throw it up here and you get a sack, and that screws up the whole rhythm of their drive that you have going. So let's see what Coach Travis does right here on 2nd and short.
That's why the line play is so vital in this football game. They're going to throw it. He's got his man. Great catch. Touchdown. yards, and the Patriots draw first blood.
Steve Groom, number 40, sneaks out of the backfield. Here we can look at Hahn, and nice steps into the throw well. The ball wobbles a little bit on him, but the important thing is it's right into the hands.
What a great adjustment by Groom. And that's a tough pass to catch. That's a double barrel.
But you made the call, Coach. Here, you know, I'm supposed to be the analyst, and you're the one that calls the play action pass on 2nd and short.
Now they'll go for 2. Hahn, got it. Josh Hahn's 8th touchdown pass of the season. 30-plus yards to Groom, and the Patriots are on the board. 8-0 with 6:56 left. We'll see how St. Francis responds when we come back. USA on top 8-0, maybe pulling one out that not a whole lot of people expected. St. Francis looked like they were playing run all the way.
Well, they were playing run on 2nd and short, which sells this. Once again, look at the line come off and show run. Gruen on the left side of your screen, he just takes off the whole way. He's not even stock blocking. Sometimes on a play like that, you come out and show like you're going to block and then take off. He just turned on the jets from the get-go, and someone, I think it might have been Ben Carlson, got caught peeking in the backfield just a little bit for the St. Francis Gladiators. Next thing you know, you're down 6-0.
Just 2 plays, 41 yards, a little more than 30 seconds, and USA is on top. Brian Beckwith back deep to receive the kickoff for St. Francis. St. Francis got to be wondering what they got to do to put a little jolt into their offense. This is an offense that averages 36.5 points per game. So far, they've been shut out through a quarter and a half. Upman takes it. Tim Wolf doing a pretty good job, breaking some tackles. It's on the carpet. I think USA got that bad boy back. No, St. Francis did.
No, USA.
No, USA did. Everyone was cheering because the ref pointed towards St. Francis, and then USA was cheering, and I thought, what are you so happy about? Guess we covered before anybody else did.
Guess we covered the fumble. The same man who just scored the touchdown, Gruen, number 40. This looks like the Lions game from yesterday. The officials pointing one way and then pointing back the other way. Nice job by Wolf, too. Excellent run, and this was a shame on the end of a nice run like this. A lot of times is when something bad can happen, trying to get the extra yard, and a coach will never, ever blame a young man for that. With Joe Steckel knocking the ball loose. But what a fine return, and it's a shame that it has to end on such a disappointing note. But there's Steckel, 56, knocking the ball loose.
Yeah, how many times have you seen it where a guy looks for extra yardage and unfortunately turns it over? Near side, first flag of the afternoon. Usually where holding takes place. 5-yard pickup by Josh Hahn.
White captain. We have a hold. Yeah.
Let's go down to Robert Adams, our referee.
Take it back. 10 yards. 10 yards. Right that spot. Got a holding. 10 yards.
So push him back into Patriot territory with that miscue.
Well, the bad
holding on the offense. 10-yard penalty. Still first down. Number 47. 4-7.
Well, the bad news about that is you get a 10-yard penalty. The good news is it's a spot foul, and the hold took place about 3 to 4 yards past the line of scrimmage. It only turns into being about a 7-yard penalty.
1st and 16. Patriots leading 8-0 already. The mash near side, spinning his way toward midfield. Josh Hines in on the tackle. They give him 1, so it'll bring up a 2nd down and long. And we already know USA can throw the ball. An obvious passing situation here, but maybe they keep it on the ground. Double wide out set on the far side. Evansville Mash is in motion. They'll throw. Quick flat or quick out toss near side, and they'll say it is incomplete. Has to skip down that Silverdome turf.
Well, that ended up being a little bit quicker pass than Coach Travis really intended it to be because of pressure. But number 82, Chris O'Brien, we see the ball bouncing well short of Kevin Vermash. And the reason it fell well short, once again, Chris O'Brien, number 82, was in Hahn's face. And that's what you're looking for from your defensive end. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You want him to get penetration. You want him to work upfield. But in high school, he's also in charge of contain. So they can't be too aggressive where they're going to let the quarterback get outside them.
Now 3rd and long. Troy Vermash. Far side. He kicks it to the outside. Turns the corner. Good job by Beckwith to drag him down from behind just before he gets to that first down marker.
Well, that's a play they've had a lot of success with, where the quarterback and the tailback both go to the right, and they watch Kevin, number 20, takes off the right. And there's a fullback trap inside. Curtis Vargo, excellent kickoff block. And it's a simple play, but it's the bread and butter play of the full tee. The full house tee is the fullback trap. We're gonna have a team called Montrose here tomorrow night, and they run the veer. The bread and butter play is fullback trap.
On occasion, they will even fake out our camera guys who are the best in the business. Beckwith came all the way from the far side to drop it. Look at that hit! Carlson came up and drilled Hahn right near that first down yard marker. I don't think he got it. Carlson will have to go to the bench. He paid the price there.
We're talking about some speed, and we're talking aggression right here on Carlson's behalf, because it looks like Hahn's going to pick up the first down. It's a double belly again. He pulls it outside the lead back Goki, and right there we see Carlson flying up, selling out for the team, and that's what you look for. And that's why these two teams are here, Matt, making plays like this throughout the course of a season. The bad news is that Ben got shaken up a little bit on the play.
Yeah, I think he did a great job of recognizing where the ball was. Counter. Wolf. Shows a lot of guts on Larry Sellers' part to give it right back to Tim Wolf, the guy who fumbled the last kickoff. Gives it to him, and he picks up a couple.
When you have that type of effort, it's a lot easier to back your players when something happens negative because of an effort play.
USA snuffing that one out. Little gain, if any.
Well, that play is only going to work as long as the guards can make movement. That time they pull the right guard, Adriano Boza, but Adriano got stuffed in the hole. Good job, I think it was Trevor Myers, number 73, stuffing Adriano. And then once you know those guards are coming all the time, you start building a fort, you start getting your feet in cement as your defensive tackles, because you got to close down that hole.
3rd down and 7 for St. Francis. Trying to drive into Patriot territory. They have been playing in the middle of the field all evening long. There's a mix-up. Now Denny under pressure, and he's down. Curtis Vargo, we've talked about USA's defense. Again, it's just given up 55 points all season long. A lot of pressure on Demney for the first time. They drop him for a loss of 12.
A great job. That's the quickness that we've seen. Undersized, extremely quick, and they really pursue. There's Vargo coming in, finishing the play off, and that can really build a lot of excitement, and we'll see if USA's offense can feed off of that type of excitement.
Brian Beckwith standing at his own 15-yard line for another punt. Gets this one away, a low line drive. Vermash can return it. It touched him. Good coverage by St. Francis, and they wrap him up. Tim Wolf at the 25-yard line.
When you have two teams that make it this far in the state,
you got Benny replaced.
When you have two teams that get here like this, punting is usually the worst part of their game because they don't punt much during the season.
Let's go! 40. Okay, what's with Ben?
Larry Sellers trying to figure out what's with Ben Carlson. Carlson, very important on offense, but defensively too. He was not out there for this St. Francis defense. Injured on the last series. Give to the up back. Troy Vermash wrestled to the ground around the 30-yard line. Chris O'Brien in on the tackle.
Troy Vermash, the lesser known of the two brothers. Kevin getting most of the accolades this year. As Matt pointed out, over 1,000 yards during the season. And when you have a 1-2 punch like that on offense, it's really tough to defend because you just can't key on the one back.
He averages 7 yards per carry, and already tonight has done a nice job. He gets it again. He's got some room. Again, maybe one block away from turning that corner and springing it. Chris O'Brien and Tim Wolf tracked him down. Enough traffic for him to catch up to him, but a first down, USA.
Let's see what Troy Vermash is made of. A little bit of patience. It's a counter. He has to wait for the pulling guard, Joe Steckel, showing some kind of Robert Smith type moves there, the long type of running stride, getting everything they could get out of it. Also in that same play, they sent Kevin Vermash, the tailback, in wide motion to the left, which pulled out one of the linebackers, enabled Troy Vermash to have a bigger hole to run through.
First and 10, they want to throw. Hahn, crushed the middle, complete and close to another first down. Nate Goki with his first reception of the evening.
Coming out in a slot left formation, Hahn just drops back a little straight, not even a play action, and he runs a slant with the wide receiver coming in from the slot position. Goki, a nice job making the catch for the first down, taking the punishment. They were in a cover 2 where the safeties have halves, and there's a soft area underneath him, and he found it.
On 2 of 6 for over 40 yards. Now a counter. Here far side. Good balance up to get toward the 40-yard lines and get some positive yardage out of it. Ben Carlson back into the ballgame for St. Francis. Jason Newman and Dave Klassen's in on the tackle there. Just over a minute to go. 1:03 to be exact. Got a timeout on the field. The Patriots on top of the Gladiators, 8-0. And USA is on their feet. They only have like 23, 25 players on their football team, USA. A lot of guys go both ways. Tim Travis was telling us earlier in the week that we chose not to go up and bring a lot of sophomores up.
We got blood. We got blood. Lynn! Lynn! Lynn!
Wait till the ref scene, otherwise I gotta stay out.
Hey, I'm telling you, they have played a perfect half of their football, and they're up 1 score. You stop them on this drive. They can't play better than they play.
Boy, great sound on the sideline. Our Fox microphones getting everything that the coaching staff of St. Francis is telling their defense.
Yeah, sit on the line of scrimmage. Sit there. Hurry up. Put it on. Spy. Spy. Call your spy. Let's go.
Their feeling is that USA is maxed out.
But did you hear what Larry Sellers was pointing out? Sit there. Sit on the line of scrimmage. They're starting to chase ghosts. I pointed out early in the game, you start reading Kevin Vermash, and they're going back the other way underneath on the fullback trap with Troy Vermash, and that's what's killing them.
Triple wide receiver set for the Patriots. New quarterback going deep to the quarterback, picked off. Beckwith. And dropped immediately. Isaiah Gainford, intended for Josh Hahn, who lined up as a wide receiver, went downfield, and Beckwith was playing center field and knew it all along.
Well, they come out with a play action, but St. Francis in the 3-deep zone. Beckwith playing center field in the middle of the field, and he's just sitting back to wait for someone to come in his area. There's no one in his area, so he drifts over, and that's Hahn, number 12, as a receiver, the quarterback down the field. So that was a new wrinkle for him.
Yeah. So St. Francis now has a turnover. We'll see if they can do what USA did with their turnover when they cashed in. They got a longer way to go and less time to do it. Carlson up the middle. Gain of very little as the clock winds down. We're under 50 seconds to go.
I think they just want the clock to run here, although as soon as I say that, they take a timeout.
They need a play that's going to give them 75 yards.
Yeah,
see if Larry Sellers has one and what he tells his offensive unit.
Pass. Missed the hole. Yeah, to the right. Okay. You say we missed the hole? Where's 3? Yeah. Okay, we're going Crusader right. Crusader right. Pitch sweep pass, Benny. Tailback pitch sweep pass. They run the fade. You're going fade.
Block right.
You're going fade.
Block left.
Show running.
Quiet, quiet.
All right.
Fade.
Okay.
Which way we block?
Now you're gonna run tailback pitch sweep right out of the Crusader. Okay.
Fade.
Right. Then get back on the ball. Everything's on one. Okay. Then we're gonna go pitch sweep left. Pass.
Hey, fade, coach.
Okay?
Fade.
No. We're running the ball. Okay, Crusader right. Shut up. Quiet down. All right, we're going Crusader right, tailback pitch sweep at 9, drive. Okay, then back on the ball, Crusader left, halfback pass, fade in the seam.
All right, so they got a run and a pass. They've called two plays because of the time constraints. They want to get it done, right?
But what they're going to do is they're setting up the second play with the first play. So they're going to run a toss sweep, the first play, and just run the ball. They're going to come back with the identical play the other way, but this time the halfback is going to pass the ball down the field.
Second down and 8. There's the pitch to Carlson. Cuts it back inside. St. Francis trying to be very patient here. Don't want to rush this play.
Yeah, that's right. Now you can see the halfback should be the same looking place if he's going to throw it down the field.
Beckwith is in the backfield, though. This is Beckwith. Wrapped up, gets it away. And they'll call the flag. That could be intentional grounding.
Either intentional grounding or eligible receiver because they hit one of the linemen right in the back. Illegal touching by one of the offensive linemen.
Good job by Chuck Arnold to stay home. Again, he didn't bite on the pitch sweep.
Well, if you're a well-coached team, which USA is if they're here.
Illegal touching on the offense. Hey, Captain.
We're going to watch on the replay when Beckwith lets the ball go. I think it hits right in the back of number 70 or 74 McManus. I'm not sure. He just tries to get rid of the ball, but it's illegal touch because when the offensive lineman can't hit it.
Josh Hines.
Yeah, you're right. That's Hines that time. Kind of an ill-advised pass, but that's what you get when you have a running back trying to throw the ball down the field.
Sellers might have wanted him to sell it just a little bit more, too.
It's just hard to do when, like I was stating, when you're a well-coached team with this little bit of time and a half, your secondary wants to keep everything in front of them no matter what. Let the linebacker stop the toss sweep. You don't worry about that. You keep the receivers in front of you.
St. Francis has got to be shell-shocked to a certain extent. I mean, this is a team that has scored 55 points in a game this year. They scored 35 points in the second half in the last game versus Point City in the district. And they're used to putting up points and putting them up quickly. Right now, they're getting shut out with 18 seconds left to go in the first half of play. Carlson. Nice gainer on the ground. But USA will give them that all day long, especially with the clock winding down. St. Francis late with their timeout, but they take it with just 2 ticks left to go in this first half of play. Stick around with us at the half. We'll talk about small-town football. It is throughout the state of Michigan, but they get the job done, and you see a lot of schools coming from small towns here to the Dome in November. We'll have your first half stats and highlights, and we'll get our analysis from Ron Rubik, and we'll go down to the sidelines as well.
I'd like to be in the mind of Coach Larry Sellers right now. Here's the coach looking at Tim Travis, the head coach of USA. I'm not sure why he'd be calling timeout with 2 seconds to go in the half, because you got to believe they're going to keep everything in front of them, and you're on your own 28-yard line. You want anything negative to happen. It's 8-0 right now. You're in a game. I mean, you're not out of this game by any means. When you have a high-powered offense, as the Gladiators have, as you stated, you're never out of a game. And right now, with 2 seconds to go in the half, I'm not sure a lot of good things can happen, and this might just be something to have his kids just make sure they protect the ball.
Yeah, cut your losses. You figure, hey, we're down only a score. Why try to make something happen? Although, on the other hand, if you're going to call a timeout, you might as well devise a play. Debney, who's been very quiet so far in this first half. Offense hasn't been able to move the ball very well at all. Big play for Quinn. Devin Quinn, near side. Stutter step move and driven out of bounds. Needed a little more time on the clock. More than 2 seconds. A nice gainer, but he and his Gladiators go to the break. Down 8-0. The Patriots on top. Here's the pickup of 38 to end the half.
Nothing but a draw. They got him spread out. It's a type of play. It really pads your stats before half, but it's not going to go the distance. When USA had an umbrella in their secondary, 3 or 4 guys 25 yards down the field, it looks good for the first 25 yards. Then all of a sudden that pursuit closes.
Yeah, maybe it's something that they can build on here for the second half of play after picking up a big gainer like that. But you got to be concerned if you're St. Francis about their offense and about the lack of ability to move the football down the field. Meanwhile, if you're USA, you got to be loving what your defense is doing. Jamie Samuelson has Tim Travis on the sidelines. Jamie?
Coach, we talked about an hour before the game about the nerves. Your players did not look nervous at all in that first half.
No, I think they really settled in well now, and it was nice that defense got a chance to get on the field first and stop them on the opening possession. And offensive line doing a good job, and hopefully we can continue in the second half.
You mentioned trying to open up their defense by maybe throwing the ball. You did that successfully on the touchdown.
Yeah, that was just a great catch. Steve made a nice catch, and Josh a nice throw, and they're still bringing 8 people up, so it looks like that's what we have to do in the second half, too.
All right, Coach, good luck there. We appreciate it. Matt, back up to you.
Jamie, thank you. We look forward to the adjustments and what these guys are going to do at the break. Right now, USA has adjusted very well. Thank you very much. They lead at 8-0. We're back with more from the Pontiac Silverdome on Fox Sports Detroit. USA leads it at the break, 8-0 in the Class C state championship ball game back at the Silverdome. Matt Shepard along with Rob Rubik. USA is better known for their defense. Right now, they're doubling up St. Francis offensively, over 160 yards, most of it through the air. Just 1 score so far, folks, and it comes on a 2nd and short. Nice pitch and catch.
And you called it, Matt. There's a little play action pass on 2nd down and short. We're going to have a look at it here. Nothing fancy, just a little off the play action. An excellent throw and a great catch to finish it by Gruen for the touchdown.
Josh Hahn, just 2 completions. That big one, obviously getting on the board, but the story here is defense, folks.
Defense is named this game. It's what USA brings to the table. Look at that. We talked about a swarming defense. Not 1, but 2 linebackers in on the hit, allowing Mulry to get the fumble. Here it is again. Risk this little defense on Traverse City's part. Some penetration by Heinz.
Yeah, we're having it on both sides of the field. Turnovers usually a key in a ball game. USA has taken advantage of theirs. St. Francis not of theirs. Here's their pick.
Ben Beckwith sitting back in the middle of the field. A nice job just playing center field. Gets the interception, stops the drive of USA, and helps keep St. Francis close.
What jumps out at you at the stat sheet? Obviously, Traverse City unable to throw the ball, and really they've been limited running as well.
Yeah, the stats are fairly close, but I think they're a little deceptive, as you stated. What really jumps out is look at the time of possession, 14.5 minutes, 9.5 minutes. And that's what Traverse City, one of the keys for Larry Sellers was to control the football. Right now, he's not.
Again, Larry Sellers' ball club is used to controlling football games. They are used to scoring points, 36.5 per game. That is not the case so far. Will they have an answer? What adjustments will they make at the half? We'll find out when we come back for second half action for the Class C state title tilt on Fox Sports Detroit. If Traverse City wants to boast their 3rd state championship, they got to climb back into it because they're down 8-0 right now to USA. Larry Sellers Ball Club won a state championship in '92. They also won the mythical Indy in 1974. They have also been to the state championship game in 1983 when they fell to DePores and Washawn Tate, who now stars for the University of Toledo. Welcome back to the Pontiac Silverdome. Welcome back on Fox Sports Detroit. Matt Shepard along with former Lion tight end great Rob Rubik. They are out in full force. They are loving their teams, both these schools, well supported by their communities. Traverse City, you know where they are. They're in the Pinky. Michigan is so easy to show everybody. You stick out your hand, they're up in that Pinky area. More than 15,000 strong. 291 folks in that St. Francis High School. 13 appearances in the playoffs. And again, they have 1 championship along with that mythical Class D title in 1974. Unionville Sebewaing has never been at this point in their football season. It is the first time they're playing for a state title, although it is the third time they have qualified for the postseason. Just 340 kids attending that school, more than 1,900 strong in the city. Sure looks like just about everybody is here to welcome their Patriots in that Thumb area. They're hoping to get things done, and of course, they're smart people there. They know where to watch this ball game. They're probably taking it back home, and we're hoping they're enjoying it as much at home as we are bringing it to you here on Fox Sports Detroit. Again, the Class B final coming up after this one. And you know, the road to the finals, Rob Rubik, is so difficult, man. It is so challenging, so testing, and St. Francis beat a Falls to Forest Park team and a Muskegon Catholic Central team that was very, very tough.
This is a Muskegon Catholic Central team that beat them the first game of the year, handedly 28-7. But as Coach Sellers pointed out, he goes, we were puppies then, we grew up, and now we got a little bit more of a bite to us. And they came out and he said we played our best game of the year, knocking off Catholic Central.
Yeah, USA had the same type road and have come up big, of course. Meanwhile, a wrap-up of what has taken place today. Fowler, a 26-8 knockout winner over North Dickinson from Iron Mountain. And Harrison picks up their 9th state championship, 2nd in a row, by beating Hudsonville 35-13. Dave Pacey, 3 touchdown passes and a touchdown run as the quarterback for the Hawks of Harrison. What kind of adjustments do these two teams make now? Jamie Samuelson is with St. Francis head coach Larry Serra.
Coach, you said before the game you had to be able to drive on them, something you weren't able to do in the first half. What are you going to do in the second half?
Make some adjustments. We made some adjustments. We think we got things figured out so that we will be able to drive the ball. We're going to have to drive the ball because we haven't had it enough in the first half. We have to play tougher defensively and then move the ball on offense.
Great. Good luck in the second half. We appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you very much.
All right, Matt, we'll send it back.
All right, Jamie, so St. Francis needs some things to go their way here in the second half of play. Larry Sellers, as we said, well aware of what needs to get done in the postseason. I misspoke earlier when I said Washawn Tate played for DePorres. It was losing in the finals to Bishop Gallagher. And Washawn Tate, of course, played for Bishop Gallagher. So the Patriots now will get the chance to strike first again, Rob, because they'll get the ball here first in the second half.
I think if you were in the locker room, if you were a little fly on the wall, you hear every cliche in the book. I think the biggest one you're going to hear is both coaches are going to tell their squads it's 0-0 right now. This is a whole new game, a whole new half. Coach Seller, you know, he's not too fancy. He just said what we got to do. We got to move the ball and we got to stop the ball. It's a simple game, football. Sometimes we overcomplicate it.
What is complicated, no doubt, for St. Francis now, though, Rob, is the fact that they haven't been able to move the ball very well. 84 yards on the ground, and that's it.
But they haven't had the ball. We looked at their time of possession. With 9 minutes when you have the ball an entire half, that means your defense isn't getting the job done. They need to get the ball back for you sooner and not let the other team control it.
Kevin Vermash standing alone at his own 5-yard line to return the punt, or the kick, I should say. Averages better than 29 yards per return. We talked about how teams get to this tournament. St. Francis isn't used to being down. So it'll be interesting to see how their kids respond. Third quarter action is underway. Vermash gobbles it up at the 10. Got a bit of a hole far side. Up past the 30-yard line. Pretty solid return of 23. Max Janis in on the tackle for St. Francis.
It's 1st and 10, USA. Ball at the 31.
I think you're going to see USA come out here pretty much what they did in the first half. They did a pretty good job moving the ball. You're going to see, once again, maybe play action on 1st and 2nd down and try to sustain their drives with some big plays infused into it with the play action.
About running it with Kevin Vermash. Stuck hard by number 3, Tim Wolf. You know, I give USA a lot of credit. A lot of these guys haven't even seen the Silverdome. I'm not talking TV or anything like that. And they're performing very, very well.
Looking at Kevin Vermash, this could be a huge loss. Oh, right there, you can see his right ankle get rolled under him a little bit. Great camera work by the fellas downstairs. Kevin's right ankle, as he plants, he gets hit right there, boom, and it just rolls.
Right there,
Ooh.
Tim Wolf pounds him.
and that's the turf. These kids aren't used to it, and that's always my the big downfall with AstroTurf is on grass. Sometimes if you plant how you shouldn't plant, the grass will tear. On turf, it's not the grass. So hopefully it's just a minor injury. But Kevin Vermash.
Yeah, I don't know if it's his leg or not, but watch the end right there on the back. Almost pretty close. They could have called a spearing if they wanted to. Josh Hines delivering that blow, and now Vermash will walk off under his own power. This is a guy that is very close to Coach Tim Travis's heart. Travis saw him play in Little League and knew he was going to be a player all along. He's got a bit of a headache. He may have gotten a stinger in the shoulder. We'll see. Jamie Samuelson will pounce on that and see what happened there.
Well, you could pick a lot of injuries on that one. I thought he rolled his ankle when I saw the replay. He hits his head. He also gets hit in the back, so I think he pretty much took a whooping on that one play. But knowing Kevin Vermash, we're going to see him back in soon.
Still plenty of threats in that backfield. Yep, man, and again, Hines is late on the tackle. He's rolling over as Troy Vermash comes close to picking up the first down. He's maybe a yard shy. Traverse City has got to be very careful now because that's 2 plays in a row. Hines has come over.
We're going to see here, it's a fullback trap. He gets on the hip. It's nothing fancy, but it's their bread and butter play. Steckel leading, and once again, you see Hines rolling over late. I would like to see the officials at this point maybe talk to Hines and warn him that we better be careful. Guys get excited. It's not malicious. It's just a lot of excitement in a championship game coming out, and sometimes in some negative ways.
Kevin Vermash is right back into the ball game, and he'll carry it. And Quinn stuffs him right at the line of scrimmage. Vermash strong enough to bull his way toward that first down yard marker. They give him forward progress, they'll give him a first down, and they do.
First drives of halves are off, a lot of times uses tempo setters. They're going to come out, start pounding the ball, use what you did in the first half, what you had success with, try to build that momentum that can take you through the second half. And we look at the rushing yards for the season. St. Francis with 375 a game, USA with 343 a game. Today, 83 and 127. Good defenses will stop good offenses.
That has been the case so far today, hasn't it? Up back, Troy Vermash. Not a whole lot happening there. Joe Rottola in on the tackle from his linebacker position. And I'm sure USA will be very content in just chewing as much Silverdome clock as they possibly can, keeping it on the ground where they've been successful all afternoon and working their way down toward the goal line. You know, let's remember this too. They had it 4th and goal from about the 2-yard line early in this ball game, and they chose not to go for they chose not to go for the field goal. They chose to go for it and were stopped. Josh Hahn tried to turn the corner and he got popped. Chris O'Brien delivered the lick there, and Tim Wolf came up for support.
We've seen USA run the full complement of plays out of the full house tee. They've been having success running the little fullback trap. That's a counter play or complement play off the fullback trap where the quarterback fakes the trap and then he just does a naked boot coming out to the side. But Traverse City staying home, and that was a point of emphasis for Larry Sellers in the first half. We have to stay home, stay put, don't start chasing.
Jamie Samuelson tells us that Kevin Vermash injured his left hand on that play. His brother Troy Vermash now trying to muscle his way toward midfield. Devin Quinn again on the tackle. Quinn an all-stater as a fullback, but as a linebacker, he doesn't have any equal here so far this evening.
Devin Quinn, he has success here because he sits home. He's a middle linebacker. He doesn't bite the action of the backs going to the right. He stays home. When that fullback comes underneath on the trap, he's at home, and that's what you want. Disciplined linebackers.
Brian Beckwith and Ben Carlson are back deep to receive the punt. Good kick. Beckwith fair catch at the 20. Took a little hop back, but gathered it in nicely. St. Francis gets their first crack in the second half action with their offense taking the field, and you saw the graphic earlier. They have been able to muster just 83 yards on the ground, and this for an offense that averages 343 on the ground. They are not a passing team. As a matter of fact, Steve Demney only averages 38 yards per game through the air. He is very accurate, but they don't like to put it up very often. They have not today. Split backfield. Quinn.
That play is a play that can set up another play. They just give it to Quinn on the fullback dive. But you watch Demney when he came outside that time, Matt, there was a lot of open field, and that's the people upstairs on the headsets talking to Coach Sellers and saying, hey, if we can pull that maybe, they're starting to suck in. The linebackers are starting to get aggressive and bite down on that belly, and maybe they're going to see him pull it and do the little boot outside.
How much can you read in the second half about what kind of adjustments coaching staffs make?
Watch the scoreboard.
Carlson pushing his way toward a first down. Justin Martins. Joe Stuckel in on the play.
Traverse City is coming out with a tempo-setting drive. They did the same thing in the first half, running the ball, pounding the ball, but after about the first series, USA figured it out and really started pounding them back. Now they're coming out again in the second half. It looks like the adjustments that Coach Sellers made in the first half are paying off.
They continue to pound it on the ground. They have only thrown the ball once, at least the quarterback has. Carlson on a trap.
Well,
maybe a pickup of about 3 there.
And I got caught. I got caught not paying attention. I didn't watch the guards, which I do on every play. I watched the quarterback, and then I saw the fullback come through, and I'm watching Quinn. I'm thinking a 5-yard gain. He doesn't even have the ball, and that's what happens if you don't watch the guards, because they will take it to the ball, and that's what happens sometimes to the linebackers who do the same thing.
Tim Travis is glad his defense is watching the ball. You see the play selection there. They've only thrown the ball once. Demney has thrown it once. Beckwith tried to throw it toward the end of the first half as Carlson picks up another first down. So St. Francis has done something right, whether it's at the line of scrimmage and they're blocking, or maybe the backs are hitting the corners quicker, but they only had 3 first downs in the first half. Already in the second half, they have 2.
We're going to see here, they know this time he pulls it and he gives it to the second back going wide. And look at the linebackers, they all get sucked down in for USA, and it opens it up. And what Carlson does in the end of this play, we're going to see a nice little move. He puts on number 87, I think it's Justin Nitz here, and Justin gets nothing but air. We've seen Barry do that a few times in this same palace here, the dome.
Carlson takes a shot but holds on to the ball and picks up about 4. Todd Wilson with a shot at him. And so what is it, Rob? You think St. Francis has done a better job on the offensive line? Or are the backs carrying out their fakes better? No one faked there. Good stick.
And I'm not really sure, Matt. It just may have been some miscommunication or some wrong assignments inside with the offensive line. USA does give you some multiple fronts. They're doing some 5-2, but also some 5-3, and even some 6-2, some split 6. So they're giving some problems, but Traverse City has to maybe start zone blocking to pick that up. 2nd
down and 7. Ball inching its way toward midfield. St. Francis hasn't had the greatest field position. Beckwith. Another first down, 3 straight first downs as Troy Vermash comes up to make the stop.
Let's look at the USA defense after this play. Sometimes what happens after a play is just as critical as what happens during the play. Granted, they gained 10 yards, but if you watch the play after, this is just the belly series, giving it to the second back. We've seen it all day. Carlson leading through the hole. But I watch U.S. players after the play, and they got their hands on their hips right now. They're sucking air a little bit. These kids are used to playing outside in the elements. You know, it's been 40, although we've had a nice fall, it's still been 40 to 50 degrees. They're getting a little tired. This has been a long drive.
And Tim Travis doesn't have a whole lot of guys on that bench to replace the guys who are on the field. Quinn dumped after a pickup of 2. You still like what St. Francis is doing, though? They continue to pound it inside between the tackles.
It's what they do. You don't get to the state finals and all of a sudden try to change everything that you do. You run the belly series, they run the belly series. That time Maury from his linebacker position, he just steps up. He gets a quick read and makes the play. But you have to dance with the one you brought. And what brought them here is running the belly series and the full house tee.
They have equaled the number of first downs they had the entire first half. Fumble! Boy, Wolf was fortunate there. Tim Wolf is the guy who put it on the ground in the first half, returning a kickoff, muscling for extra yardage. Here, It bounced out but popped right back up to him. Maybe it's that rubber ball, Rob.
It is, but what hurts here is you've been running, setting this play up. Your whole philosophy, when you run in the belly, you're giving it, and then when you run the counter off it, you got to have some return on your play. But by the ball being fumbled, because Boza had a nice kick-out block, but the ball being fumbled really sets up, you know, a 3rd and long where something was there if you could cut it up inside.
Give Tim Wolf credit. That was not his fault. Demney put it on his left thigh pad. Got some movement on that front of the line. Another fumble. No flag. I thought somebody jumped early, but there is a ball loose. Tim Travis obviously pointing in favor of USA. And a flag was thrown. No, I think that was just a marker.
Wait till the snap. Just before the snap, before you go.
Let's see if the ball was, the ball was snapped prematurely.
Yep.
It really looks ugly. It's the ugliest playing football because when the center snaps it, he's going, but everyone else in the line is like dominoes. They're going at all different times. So it just looks wrong, but it's actually legal play.
Demby hopped on it, and now Beckwith's kick. A line drive, boy, high bounce in front of Vermash, and it came right back and touched a St. Francis player right around the 13-yard line. So St. Francis did something right at the break, folks. They made some adjustments, got 3 first downs, but still can't crack it in. We'll see what Unionville Sebewaing does when we come back. They're up 8-zip. Unionville Sebewaing excited about their Patriots, who are 12-0 coming into this ball game and now lead it 8-zip. 3:28 left to go in the 3rd. It's hardcore football on Fox Sports Detroit. Ronnie Lott, Bill Moss, and Ron Pitts show you the real NFL hardcore X's and O's, hardcore blood, sweat, and tears. Hardcore football for the hardcore fan. It's hardcore football Tuesday nights at 8 on Fox Sports Detroit. You played against Ronnie Lott, didn't you?
Yeah, I made him all-pro every year.
That was easy to do because he was as good as he got as far as the safety was concerned.
He could cover me, never break his back pedal.
Cover you long distance, huh? Inside handoff for the Patriots, who continue to pound the ball as well. So are you, if you're Larry Sellers, are you somewhat encouraged about what your offense has done, at least so far in the second half, despite still getting shut out?
You're encouraged, but you're also frustrated at the same point. You did what you set out to do at halftime. You started picking up yards. You moved the ball, picked up a couple 3 first downs. Then you have some mental breakdowns. The bad handoff, that's just Demney not getting a good grip, giving it to Wolf, causing the fumble, a play that you worked so long by running plays previous to it to set it up so you'd have success. So then you end up punting the ball. So it's really frustrating for a coach.
Good decision by Josh Hahn. He kept it. Josh Hines in on the tackle and a pickup of about 5.
This is an important series for St. Francis, too. We got 3rd down and 2. They really need to stop here because when you punt them deep, you like to have them punt it back. And we see Hahn, he's just following the fullback. So St. Francis, this is a big play because if you can force them to punt, you should get excellent field position and you can continue that drive that you started coming out of the locker room.
Got to buckle down and stop him here, though, for St. Francis. Hahn again keeps. Boy, he is drilled, but it looked like he got that first down. Chris O'Brien came up from his defensive end position and laid a lick on him.
The amazing thing, Matt, about football is the older you get, the lower level you can go that it seems good. When I left the Lions and started coaching Lapeer, here Hahn, really a hard-nosed play and some good hitting inside. When I left the Lions and I started watching, I went to coach at Eastern one year, helped Jim Harkema, I thought, these guys aren't very good. Now, I watch a junior high game, I think, man, I don't want to be out there. The longer you've been away from it, the better they seem. And there's some hitting going down. I'm glad down there, and I'm glad we're up here.
You have played on this dome carpet. You know that some of the adjustments that need to be made, especially for first-timers, these guys have done a nice job adapting to the surroundings, adapting to the difference in the playing field, the lights, the humidity, and things like that.
Especially the thing you said about the lights is very important, Matt, because you're not used to it. They're up in the corners, and it can really cause problems for young kids kids who've never been in here. I remember the first preseason game when I played in here. I dropped the pass. Actually, I didn't even drop it because I never touched it. I looked up in the lights and lost it. So it can be a real problem. And those are all good points. But the kids, the good news is that they run it about 98% of the time, so they don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, with these two teams, absolutely. Although Harrison didn't have much of a problem in the Class A championship game. Out of the eye to the up back Troy Vermash. The thing you like about both Vermashes, they carry the ball an awful lot. A lot of attempts. Rarely do they put the ball on the ground.
That's just hard-nosed, consistent, and that's why they both rush over 1,000 yards. And that's why USA is here today. You don't turn the ball over. You got to have a high plus-minus ratio during the course of the year. In USA, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but I know it was extremely high. I was talking to Coach Travis. He said that's one of the keys. They haven't turned the ball over as much as they thought they would running this type of offense, and that's really been a positive for them this entire season.
Travis's seniors are 20-1 coming into this ball game. So you talk about not knowing what defeat is all about. That's exactly what these kids are going through, because they have had an unbelievable season, an unbelievable run at the varsity level. He says that the 8-1 record they boasted a year ago and not qualifying for the playoffs made them hungrier. He knew right away at the beginning of this season that his club would have an opportunity to do something special. Quick third quarter. It is in the books, and it remains the same as it's been after 2 quarters. No one able to break through in this third quarter of play. USA goes to the final 12 minutes. They are up 8-0 on St. Francis. Great ball game for the Class C championship. Come on back on Fox Sports Detroit. Some people might think you just ruined a sweatshirt. Not for that little guy. One of the younger Patriot fans among the hundreds of thousands, maybe, of USA fans here at the Dome this evening. They got their Patriots on top 8-0. A lot of it because of time of possession.
We look right here, 21-27 to 14-33. You're not going to lose many games when you can control the ball that well.
You're not going to win many games if you only garner 119 total yards and you can't throw the football. St. Francis has been stymied that way so far this evening. And a second down and long. High, complete! A lot of room. Goki to the sideline, inside Beckwith. Great run before Quinn knocks him out of bounds. Devin Quinn came all the way from the opposite side to run him down. Nate Goki with a whole bunch of yardage in front of him, a pickup of 61, and USA is thinking about trying to put this away right away.
Well, Coach Travis said before the game, when we throw the ball, it's going to be on first and second down off of a play action. We don't like to throw when we have to. Hits Goki, he breaks the tackle. That enables him to make it into a long gain. What's amazing, though, is the great hustle by Quinn to save the touchdown, because he beats Beckwith, and he's going all the way in, but Quinn doesn't give up on the play coming from his inside linebacker. If it's not for him, it's 7.
At the far left hash. Touchdown! Troy Vermash. His 13th of his senior season and the biggest one of his high school career.
Well, when you get down in the red zone, you go to your bread and butter. The bread and butter of the full house tee is the fullback trap, and there it is. A nice job by number 72, Jason Newman. I got the wrong one here. Boza pulling, kicking out on the fullback trap. Excellent job by USA. That's a play, that's our go-to play when they need a play inside the 10-yard line.
Joe Stokey, great lead block. The kid is only 188 pounds as a guard, but he's quick, and he got the job done there. A pitch back, Kevin Vermash, sniffing the goal line. Give him 2 more. 16-0, USA.
Another wrinkle out of the full house tee, the option. This time Hahn coming down, and he pitches it with deception going the other way by Vermash. Pitches the ball to Kevin Vermash. Dives in, gets the pylon. You can tell these kids watch TV on Sunday. They're all diving for the pylon with the ball now. And a nice job, a 2-point conversion, giving the Patriots a 16-0 lead. And it's going to be tough the way Traverse City's moved the ball so far.
Tim Travis's 10th year at USA. It is special for him. He loves it right now. His offense got it done. Now it's his defense's turn when we come back. Troy Vermash's 9-yard touchdown plunge gives his Patriots a 16-0 lead to start this fourth quarter of play. Hey, this week on the Locker Room, Eli, Gibby, and Gary Danielson sort out the confusion in the College Football Bowl Championship Series and provide an unusual look at the greatest running backs in the University of Michigan history. All that and more when you enter the Locker Room Sunday at midnight on Fox Sports Detroit. I wonder if they're going to be talking at all about Stanley Edwards, who will join Fred McLeod after this ball game to bring you the Class B championship ball game. 8 plays, and they didn't need a whole lot of time either. The Patriots get the job done in 3 minutes and 47 seconds, covering 85 yards, and they lead at 16-0. If St. Francis wants to get back into this ball game, they need something big from Brian Beckwith. Shifts hands. Look at Troy Vermash run him down. Troy Vermash was on the other hash mark and came all the way across the field and tracked down Brian Beckwith to drop him right around the 25-yard line.
Excellent coverage by USA. Now we're going to watch as you come down here. This is just hustle. They're trying to do an inside left return. You can see the wall setting up right there. There's nothing there. Beckwith has to ad-lib. He tries to swing to the right, but great speed. Here's Kevin Vermash, number 20, coming down from across the field and making a great play. Here's an ISO of Vermash. Look at that. That's great job of the camera guys coming all the way across, and that's, you know, showing some speed. Now, didn't have much of an angle, coming kind of flat across the field, but showing some excellent speed.
See what St. Francis does here. See if they put the ball up, and now stoppage of play, a flag on the play. We've only had a couple here this afternoon. Very well played football game.
Good ball, Coachman.
So an offsides on the part of the Patriots. One of the few miscues they've made all day for Tim Travis. Graduated from Central Michigan back in 1985. Larry Sellers on the Traverse City sideline. More than 200 wins in his 25-year career. Eleven and a half left to go in the fourth. Carlson with a carry, but they continue to pound it on the ground.
But we're seeing a formation change. They're coming out in a pro-I set with a flanker to the right and a tight end to the right and the split end left out of the I formation. You're going to see a nice view of the I formation coming up with Ben Carlson as a tailback. I mean, this is just straight ahead, a lead. Kick out by Quinn. Carlson hugging the block, a nice job. It's a whole change in philosophy right now. You're down with only 11 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. You want to come out as a wing or a full house T. Right now you're coming in the I because this is what you pass more effectively out of.
Good job by the Patriots defense to shed that leading blocker. Beckwith, he's dragged down. And again, St. Francis, pretty predictable right now. I know they run the ball very well, but you got under 11 minutes to go in this football game. You need 2 scores. You have to start mixing it up just a little bit, don't you think?
You don't hit the panic button yet, but
no.
You're locating it because it's getting pretty close at 10:49, and you're only getting 3 and 4 yards a run. You can't afford to take 7 or 8 minutes to drive this ball down the field. So you're going to see some play action, some type of pass coming out of this formation.
Yeah, let's remember it was 1st and 5, so they picked up that first down. Now 2nd down and 8, but you'd like to see him put the ball up in the air a little bit, maybe test that defensive backfield of USA. Now they will. Wolf sheds 1 tackler and gets close to the first down yard marker. Justin Martin's in on the tackle there.
They went back to the regular formation of the wing T, and they slid Wolf out, number 3, out into the flat. All the action was going to the right, and it's a little throwback screen with no lineman leading them, though. But Wolf does a good job making Troy Vermash miss and picking up about 5 yards, set up a 30 short.
One thing that Demney does very well, he gets deep dropbacks on those 7-yard drops. He really gets back there well. And the second man through Carlson. Good move. Great job coming across the green. Troy Vermash made a game, or a touchdown saving tackle, I should say, at the 40-yard line. Pick up a 15.
You know it's an excellent run, Matt, when you look at the field and there's 2 or 3 blue shirts kneeling on the ground and you're 15 yards down the field from where you made them miss. I think the first one he makes miss is Kevin Vermash, a nice block for number 26. But watch here, there's number 87 Nitz, but there's, nice block actually from, there's the first one Troy Vermash gets him. It wasn't a miss as much as a nice crackback block, a legal crackback block, and a good job by Carlson being very shifty, following his blocks down the field.
This is something Traverse City hasn't seen so far today. Haven't really seen much of the big gainers. So on a 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line, this may be their deepest penetration. Definitely lost a little bit there.
Let's watch Curtis Vargo, number 62, take on the lead blocker, Quinn. Work right through the block. Excellent job. And that's what you teach. You want to get that shoulder low, but usually they tell you to keep your inside shoulder down, keep your outside shoulder free. Vargo actually slipped underneath the block, making the play.
A loss of 1 will bring up 2nd down and 11. Steve Demney, just a sophomore, will throw the ball. All kinds of time. Complete. 1st down. Good job by Chris Gallagher, and great job by Demney because he was very patient, waited for his tight end to get outside that outside linebacker before throwing the ball.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Matt. And a nice job here, coming straight back. He's patient, let the play develop. Hits him dumping out into the sidelines. Let's watch Carlson down the field. Doesn't make the block in the back. Heads up play again by Ben Carlson. That's twice today that he makes the block, the play's coming back.
So St. Francis put together two pretty good drives. First one out of the break, they had 3 straight 1st downs, but couldn't capitalize. Now they're moving the ball very well. Devin Quinn fighting for more yardage, dropped by Trevor Myers. And the way they've been able to throw the ball now has to make you wonder a little bit, why didn't they try this a little earlier, Rob?
Well, sometimes the game dictates what you're going to do. If you're a running team, you like to stay with it as long as you can, but sometimes you can't.
St. Francis seems like the kind of team, though, that would use the pass to set up the run, and they really haven't done it a whole lot today. Option, great job kicking it back to Carlson. He's free! He's in!
We got a whole new ball game, Matt.
'29-yard touchdown run. Ben Carlson, 21st touchdown of this, his junior season. And you figure they'll go for 2. I mean, it's a 16-6 lead. They don't have to.
Here's a look, Carlson. What really amazes me, not only the pitch, the catch by Carlson, and then he gets into the secondary, which is the strength of the USA defense. Coach Travis said the secondary is the highlight of his defense, but he kind of makes mincemeat out of it. He's very shifty, a nice open field runner, Ben Carlson. Another look at it, good speed, and the key to that was the speed when he got the pitch going north and south. He accelerated through the hole.
Well, Curtis Vargo is draped all over Demney. Demney has it. He's got the 2 points. Boy, St. Francis showed you something there, folks. Heck of an offensive drive against a great defensive football team, showing a lot of heart. It's now 16-8. Look at it again.
Demney, only a sophomore. No way would he expect to be in this situation in the 4th quarter at the Silverdome, running a little quarterback keep outside. But this is a young man who was projected to be the starter in the junior varsity. Here he is in a 16-8 game with 7:30 for the state championship.
Now 16-8 in a whole new ball game. USA wonders if they celebrated too early. St. Francis is wondering if they got more to celebrate. We'll soon find out with 7.5 left. Now just an 8-point lead for USA as St. Francis marches down the field and picks up their first touchdown of the ball game with 7.5 left to go in the final quarter. Larry Sellers very encouraged.
Come on. Several thousand people behind us are just bonkers right now. Feel the electricity. Let's go. When they're ready. Feel it.
on, baby. Come on, feel it.
Oh, they're feeling it. There is no question the Gladiators crowd has come to life. Now their defense has to rise to the occasion. USA they really felt that if they could get to this final quarter, they could be in business.
One of Coach Travis's key was to get to the fourth quarter. Well, they got here. Now let's see if they can finish it. They had a 16-0 lead, cut to 16-8. Let's see what they got left in the tank.
Traverse City is best in the second quarter and fourth quarter. That's where they scored their most points. Kevin Vermash at his 15 breaks the tackle. And now St. Francis is open for some type of defensive turnover. Larry Sellers, as you heard, encouraging his kids to keep fighting. He says there's plenty of time, and there is. 7.5 left to go in this final quarter. So St. Francis, who after more than a half of football only garnered 84 total yards, took that one 7 plays, 74 yards in a little over 4 minutes to get right back into this ball game. Big hit, ball was loose. I think he was down. Hahn with the keeper, and he has been popped more than just a couple of times today, and Chris O'Brien has laid him out and then some.
We're gonna have a look here. Here's Hahn coming up through there. There's somebody reaching in. That ball's on his hip.
Yes,
that's close. You know, the knee was down. The ball was still kind of pinched on his hip. And that's a tough call for any official. And they looked like he had pretty good position. That could have been that's one of those calls that they can call either way, and it's a good call. If they call it a fumble, it's a fumble.
Yep.
If they don't call it a fumble, they say it's still pinched on his hip when his knee was down.
Not sure who recovered it. I know John Kemp and Josh Hahn were right there to try and scoop it up. He picks up 6. Inside handoff. Troy Vermash, who scored that last USA touchdown, stymied to just maybe 1.
If Traverse City wants to stop the offense of USA right now, they got to stop the fullback trap, because I guarantee if they're going to get hurt, it's going to be with the fullback trap. That's been the bread and butter play all day. That time they ran it, they stayed home. The trap man took it. They took on the block very well. Josh Hines, the defensive tackle, and he closed down the hole, and there was nothing there. And if they're going to stop him, they got to be consistent and stay home.
It's where that St. Francis defensive line has got to get lower than the USA offensive line. Pitch out, Kevin Vermash. Big first down and more! Does he get enough wheels? Wolf drags him down at the 30.
Woo! What a play by Wolf.
Wow. That puts a damper on things for St. Francis. 40-yard pickup.
Wolf coming from the strong safety position, looking on the other side of the field, actually the free safety, coming all the way, some good speed, well blocked outside. And Vermash showing his speed getting down the sideline. For a minute I'm pointing like he's gonna go the whole way, but here comes Wolf, fights off the block, and that's a great effort by Wolf. If he gets blocked, if he lets himself be blocked, that's a touchdown, but he doesn't. Look at, they seal. There's Troy helping out his brother a little bit, getting Kevin outside, trying to get him to pay dirt. With an extra effort by Wolf.
That was key, shedding that first tackle. And now Troy Vermash sheds more than one, lunging toward the line of scrimmage. Dan Redmond in on the tackle, but not before Troy Vermash picked up 4.
Well, that was the belly trap inside. In a game like this, though, at the Class C level, they don't usually have field goal kickers. If you notice, USA goes for 2 every time anyways. Yeah. So you're looking there in 4-down territory. They're not going to kick a field goal to put this game away. They're going to try to put a touchdown to put it away.
Well, Tim Travis went for it on 4th and 2 rather than go for a sure field goal like many teams would do. Came up empty early on. Nothing empty about this play. Kevin Vermash, another first down. St. Francis just can't stop the Vermash brothers right now.
A little bit of fatigue's taken over on the St. Francis side of the ball. It's just they're doing such a good job, Coach Travis, in mixing up the fullback trap with the belly outside to Kevin Vermash. They hit you with the trap, and then they come back outside with Vermash off tackle. And it's just something that what happens is your defensive tackles start pinching to take away the trap. And as soon as they pinch, you come back and hand it right where they left. So a good job by Coach Travis mixing up the plays.
Great field level view from our camera. Look at the Vermash brothers. Each averaging better than 5 yards per carry. Both right around 100 yards. Nate Goki gives him a breather, taking the ball that time. Kevin with over 90 yards. Troy with a touchdown and close to 90. They've been balancing it very well. 18 carries for Kevin. His older brother has 16. Second down and 9. Ball resting on the 17-yard line. You get 177 yards out of your backfield, you're doing something right. Doesn't have to be one guy. They're hammering it. Inside handoff, Troy Vermash. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage, and suddenly this is a big third down play. Dave Klassen's in on the tackle there.
We're going to get a look at this handoff here. This is almost a fumble. He doesn't quite get to Troy Vermash, and he has to really stretch out. I think he even lets go of the ball. Watch this. He just, barely gets it to him. And that's either your quarterback's coming slow out of center or your back's anticipating the snap count because the timing wasn't the best there.
You're also going to see USA use as much clock as they possibly can afford. As Rob pointed out, it is 3rd and 7. But this is all 4-down territory. Kevin Vermash. More than 4 minutes of clock they've used on this drive. This is what USA wanted to do.
I'm kind of surprised Coach Sellers not start use his timeouts on a 4th down and 3. I would take a timeout here.
And he has 3 of them to burn. It'll be 4th and 3. Obviously, folks, the biggest play of the game.
It's 4th down, about 3 yards.
Clock continues to wind down. You see it in your Fox box in the upper left corner. Under 2.5 to play. On to Kevin Vermash. Actually, Steve Green carried it left side, had me fooled. I don't think he got that first down either.
No, he got stopped. They ran the wing counter back underneath that time. Gruen took the underneath handoff. They've been setting that play up too. But the reason the play broke down is because St. Francis didn't get sucked in and they stayed home at the defensive end position.
They are 78 yards away. Traverse City, St. Francis looking for the equalizer. They get their shot with 2:13 left when we come back on Fox Sports Detroit. Fox Sports Detroit's coverage of the MHSAA Championships is brought to you by the United Dairy Industry of Michigan, proud sponsor of the MHSAA Sports Nutrition Award, and by MC Sporting Goods. Gear up for the holidays at your store of dreams. Both these two teams live in a dream to a certain extent this season, but one will have a nightmarish ending. Larry Sellers is hoping his ball club can use the final 2:13 to tie this Class C championship game up. USA has dominated in time of possession. 27:03 to St. Francis's 18:44. Now does the sophomore quarterback, Steve Debney, have it in him to bring this club back. Short pickup as they keep it on the ground to Beckwith.
Here's a look at the young man, the sophomore quarterback for Traverse City St. Francis. How would you like to be in this young man's shoes right now? You're 89 yards away from a tying touchdown. There's a look at Mr. Debney. A lot of pressure on this young man to lead a 2-minute drill down the field.
He knows he's going to have to throw the ball if he wants to be successful, because after that run, it'll bring up 3rd and long. Now St. Francis takes a timeout. Larry Sellers will talk things over. Tim Travis will talk to his defense, a defense that has been as stingy today as it has all season long. They have given up just 4.5 points per game this year. They average just 77 yards passing per game. What will Larry Sellers bring out of his bag of tricks? Let's check it out on the sidelines.
Now, damn it, I want everybody to block.
Gotta want it.
Strong, boys. I'll be mentally tough. You're talking 60 or 90? 60? 60 or 90? Yeah. All right. Change right. Screen left to the tight end. Okay? Count it, block it. 1, 2, 3, get the hell out here. Get out of bounds. No, let's not do the ball. We did the ball. Get out of bounds. Change. Everybody get a block. Now the left halfback. The left halfback has to get the hell
as a former tight end, you're pretty happy with that play, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I like the play. I'm not sure I like the communication with Demney right now. He seems a little unclear, but all the action's going to come to the right, and they're going to do a throwback screen to the tight end to the left.
They better hope that right end pinches, because if he doesn't, it can be picked off and go for 6 the other way. Wolf got to get to the out of bounds, and he doesn't. Larry Sellers wanted his guy to get to the out of bounds to stop the clock as quickly as possible. Gladiators have 2 timeouts left. They will use one up here. No, actually an official timeout because of an injury to a Patriot defensive player.
That's a tough break for USA, having someone down on the play.
Kyle Mowry appears to be the player on the Silverdome turf now. Don't forget, after this ball game, the Class B state championship. Fred McLeod and Stanley Edwards standing by to bring it to you here on Fox Sports Detroit.
Oh, it looks like it's going to be got his bell rung a little bit. That was Mowry coming over, a nice block, but he didn't see it coming. We used to call that getting ear hold. When you don't see the blocker coming, it gets you right in the side of the helmet, and you see a lot of things you shouldn't be seeing. You lay on the ground and you see stars. And I remember once in Cincinnati, I got ear hold. I went over to the sidelines. I'm talking to Darryl Rogers. I'm asking him what I'm doing in Cincinnati.
Watch Chris O'Brien. He's the one who ear holes him, if you will, Rob. Chris O'Brien has been a major factor in this ball game, especially on the defensive side of the ball. He plays defensive end and he plays split end on offense. He is a very physical player, and it showed right there.
That's what you got to love about these small schools. You start talking about the D's and the C's. How many kids play both ways? And that's tough. Both teams have around 6 or 7 guys going both ways. And this time in the game, you start sucking air. It's a long game, and especially when you're playing at this type of intensity level. And with the crowd and the heat, and you're used to playing outside, it can really take its toll. And let's hope Mr. Mowry is going to be all right here.
Well, you know St. Francis is going to have to throw the ball if they want to move it. With under 2 minutes to go, Steve Demney has only thrown the ball 4 times so far in this ball game. He is 3 of 4, but the good news for St. Francis fans is that he's 3 of 3 in the second half of play.
Well, if you're Coach Sellers, you did not want it to come down to this in a game where you have a sophomore quarterback who has to lead you to victory. You think you can win with the sophomore quarterback, but you don't want to have to depend on the young man to lead you to victory. So I think anything plus positive that he can do is a feather in his cap.
Folks, we are less than 45 minutes away from the 4th and final game of the day anyway, here on Fox Sports Detroit, the Class B state championship. Belding against Chesaning. Again, Fred McLeod and Stanley Edwards clearing their voices and getting ready. It'll be Fred's second game. Stanley was with me calling the Harrison win earlier. Belding getting primed, getting their lips moistened to start tooting their own horns a little bit. Looking forward to a solid Class B championship game a little bit later on. Don't forget, we got 4 more games coming your way here on Fox Sports Detroit tomorrow, and it starts at 10 a.m. So hope you can be part of your Saturday morning, afternoon, and evening as well. We hope you all had a Thanksgiving, a safe and fun holiday. It has been a fun game to cover here this afternoon as they cart off number 33 for Unionville Sebewaing, Kyle Mowry, who has been a defensive presence from his nose guard position, but right now he needs some help. We're hoping he's all right. And of course, USA is hoping that a championship will ease that pain to a certain extent. They're a $148 away from accomplishing their goal. St. Francis is 78 yards away from the equalizer. Quick pitch back, face mask it looked like, but no call on it. Trevor Myers in on the hit on Ben Carlson. I really thought he got him by the face mask there.
You got to be careful in this situation. You don't want a penalty. I think he had him by the back of the jersey and the neck. But St. Francis, whether they want to or not, they're going to have to put the ball in the air if they're going to win this game. You can't run toss sweep against a team that has great defensive speed, sideline to sideline, as USA does.
Did get out of bounds, though, and the clock is stopped at 1:35. Chris O'Brien checked in and then checked right back out. And then Sellers sent him right back in. Want to see that big split end if you're a St. Francis fan. He's 6'2". Just lob it up there for him, see what he can do. Complete to Wolf, short of the first down. I don't know. Tough to run a square in pattern without getting the first down yard marked at first.
I'm not sure it's going to be real close. Actually, they're going to give it to him, so he did get the first down. They're going to move the chains. Hey, he did a nice job setting back in the pocket. Demney showed me some confidence.
Absolutely.
He goes straight back, no play action. He's looking one, he looks two. He hits a tight end on a little bit of a drag there. Wolf coming across. A good job, some good poise in the pocket.
Thought he went backwards a little bit, but he was good enough to get that first down. And the clock continues to roll with the completion across the middle. They'll put it up again. Deep. Beckwith down the middle. Picked off by Kevin Vermash. Nice return, too, and he's out of bounds around the 26-yard line, and that should do it for USA.
Very apropos that number 20, Kevin Vermash, I like to call him a four-way player, offense, defense, both kick returners, that he should get interception to seal the game. All he's doing is playing deep center field, not letting anyone get behind him. Steve Demney just kind of throws the ball up for grabs, looking for Beckwith going down the middle of the field. But you look at there, Kevin Vermash had it measured the entire way.
Yeah, safety help too.
Yeah, he was there. And it's just, you can tell, it's a situation that Traverse City was not comfortable being in, having to throw the ball. Right here, Kevin just waiting. Hahn was even behind him in case for some reason he missed the ball.
So the guy not only has close to 100 yards on the ground, but also has a key interception to snuff out a St. Francis drive. His 6th pick of the season. Josh Hahn with a carry there. And we are under 50 seconds to go in the 4th quarter.
And I like the call. Josh Hahn didn't even try handing the ball off. Take the snap from center and just run quarterback keeps.
Now a timeout at 36 seconds by St. Francis. USA's dream season could be a reality now.
Close to protect Josh. They got one timeout left. Take a knee. They call timeout. They'll be under about 30 seconds. Take another knee. They don't got any more timeouts. We run one more play. Take a knee. Take a knee and then let it talk.
If he kneels on the ball, we got one timeout. Use it. Okay? All right. As soon as they blow the whistle, call a timeout. Let's go.
Can be difficult to motivate guys when they know that reality is staring them right in the face, down by 8 with only one timeout, and the opposition has a 2nd down and 8 in controlling the football.
Well, it's kind of like being in a guillotine and thinking the guy has poor aim. I mean, you know what the outcome's going to be. You got no choice there. These are going to take a knee. They're going to call timeout, but they're going to be able to take a knee again. And that's going to be all she wrote. And can you feel the excitement for the kids, though, for USA? When they was in the huddle with Coach Travis, I'm up here, I'm getting goosebumps thinking, I wanted them to say, you take a knee again, and you're state champions, man.
Right, right. Well, and we can feel it, too, because from our vantage point, the USA crowd, and look at how many people there are. They are right in front of us, turning around, tooting their own horns, and rightfully so. The Patriot band is fired up. Everybody is for USA. They have an outstanding season. This will be their 13th win, and from here on out, this is the team that all Patriot teams will be measured against.
Maybe the whole thumb area. And here's the downside right here, gentlemen.
Steve Demney, as a sophomore, will grow from this experience. And a guy who put up the fight he put up today and has fought through the things that he had to fight through early on in the season, you would think will grow from this experience and be better for next year. We hope. You wonder sometimes, you hate to think that some guys feel like they let their teammates down. Nobody did. They couldn't have gotten here without Steve Deming. They couldn't have gotten here without the rest of the guys on that football
And
club.
I guarantee Coach Larry Sellers will talk to that young man and say, son, you got us here. You didn't lose this game for us. You got us here as a sophomore. You played over and beyond the call of duty this year.
There is no shame losing to this USA team, a team that has stifled teams all year long, the best that has been thrown at them, and no one has scored more points against them than this St. Francis team has done. I mean, they've only given up 15 points, for crying out loud, and to perform the way they did on the primetime stage is saying an awful lot.
Well, it's going to sound like we're at the Olympics here pretty quick. You're going to hear the USA chant coming up.
If they could, they'd tear down the goalposts. Unionville Sebewaing, the Patriots, are first-time champions. Tim Travis and the Patriots, 13-0. Nothing more sweet than a title championship ring. They do it convincingly, 16-8. Come on back. If you want a convincing champion, you're looking at it right now. Unionville Sebewaing, 16-8 winners over St. Francis of Traverse City. But USA outscores their opposition in this 1998 postseason, 132-20. Tim Travis's ball club had given up just 55 points through today. An unbelievable feat, and what his defensive club did. They may not have looked pretty offensively, but they got the job done between Kevin and Troy Vermash. The seniors leave school 21-1 with the school's first ever state championship in their trophy case. An unbelievable accomplishment, Rob.
They got everything to be proud of, just as the men across from them, the Traverse City St. Francis Gladiators. What a war we witnessed here today. What a pleasure doing the game. Not only with you, Matt, with the wonderful fans that we've had here. What a great crowd for a C game.
Let's remember this. USA had never won a playoff game until this season. They went 4-0. The quarterback, Josh Hahn, Troy Vermash, and Kevin Vermash get the job done. Our next game comes up at 8 o'clock in Class B. Chesaning takes on Belding. For everyone involved in our Fox Sports Detroit crew, for Rob Rubik, I'm Matt Shepard saying so long from the Silverdome. Again, the final score in Class C. Unionville Sebewaing 16, Traverse City 8. You've been watching high school football on Fox Sports Detroit, your home of Fox Sports Net. We'll see you back here in just a little while. Now stay tuned for Fox Sports News Tonight. It's next on Fox Sports Detroit.